which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome to a new episode of our program Islamic Law Today. It is a great honor and a great pleasure to have you all with us here this evening. And I'd like to take a moment to welcome our dear professor, Professor Muhammad Saie. Professor Saie, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sallam wa rahman.
Barakallahu feek. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Professor Muhammad Saie, as you all know him really well by now, he's a professor of Islamic law at a number of American universities. He's also a member of the Fatwa Committee of AMJA, the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America. And tonight, my dear brothers and sisters, we continue part 3 about a very interesting topic that we've been talking about, and we have went really in depth in this topic, the topic of divorce in Islam. Many of the fatwa questions that come to the scholars are relating to divorce. And subhanAllah, divorce has become such a widespread issue today, especially for Muslims living in the West, and especially amongst young people. Most people get a divorce in the first year of marriage. And subhanAllah, Islam, as Professor Saie said in the previous 2 episodes, came to safeguard the Muslim marriage and to try to put roadblocks until we reach this point of divorce, which many times could be something bad, but sometimes could be something good. And as Professor Saie ended last episode, it is something, subhanAllah, where if people have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if they have this fear or this consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while they are divorcing, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless them. Either if they decide to continue living with each other, or even if they decide to part and go their separate ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless both the former husband and the former wife, and will give them sustenance from places which they did not expect, as Professor Saie talked last episode when he read the ayahs from Surah At-Talaq. Professor Saie, subhanAllah, this issue of divorce, as we said, is becoming really prevalent, especially in Western societies, especially amongst the youth. Do you think this goes back to the lack of correct Islamic understanding about the topics that we're talking about here today?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Rasulullah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa nawala. علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما علمتنا وزدنا ولدك علما. تقبل منا برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. احسن عاقبتنا في امورنا كلها واجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الاخره. اللهم استودعك هذه الحلقات والبرامج عندك لتؤجرنا عليها وأن تكون حجة لنا ولكل من ساهم معنا فيها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
آمين.
افسح فيها القبور واغفر فيها الذنوب واقض فيها الحاجات وانور فيها البصائر والأبصار. آمين اللهم آمين. أما بعد. Well, it is very obvious now when we are seeing our new generations, and they're having this marriage, and that marriage ended up with a very quick divorce the first year, and especially in the Western countries among Muslims. And this goes back to the philosophy of marriage, understanding of the meaning of marriage first of all, and what kind of preparation both husband and wife they have taken and they have considered before they make that decision. In many cases we have seen many couples, they have rushed to the marriage decision because they love each other. Love is very important in marriage life, but you have to add to love many other maybe factors. In Islam, subhanAllah, from the Prophet ﷺ sayings, when that Sahabi came to him and he told him that he about to marry a lady, and because he did like her, he did like to marry that lady, and the Prophet asked him, did you see her? He said no. He said, go and take a look. That will be most likely just better to have a permanent life together, or to keep your marriage longer than maybe you think. Just the meaning here. فإنه أحرى أن يؤدم بينكما. يؤدم يعني أن يكون بينكما إدام. والإدام, this kind of sometimes vegetables, some kind of food. You take it with some kind of other maybe food like chicken or fish. Therefore, we are using your bread to dip in that kind of food. They call it idam. But here, the meaning here that it's much better to keep your marriage longer and longer. You go and look at her. So when you look at someone and you did like her physically, this other factor here. But more than this, the other factors of the attitude, the behavior, mentality, her deen, her religious status, her family, her culture, the country, the state, the village. Many factors come together to create this kind of conclusion of saying most likely this marriage will stay for last forever, inshallah ta'ala. But in many cases, the young people, they don't do it this way. They just take one factor of they did like each other physically, they did love each other emotionally, and that's it. And this is not enough for the marriage to stay for long. But if we add to that, if both of them did not look at the religious status of both of them, that he did not a very good practice Muslim young man, or maybe she is not a good practice Muslim girl at that time, they don't care sometimes, and they rush to the marriage, and they married each other. And after 1 year, before 1 year sometimes, they broke up. This relationship was divorce. So we advise everyone, before we talk about divorce, we have to talk about marriage. So consider this marriage as a field of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pleasing Him Azza wa Jal. When we talk about divorce, we talk the same way, subhanAllah. So this may be a very quick reminder about our maybe young generation right now to take it, inshallah ta'ala, in the wise way, and to take the decision wisely, consult with their parents, consult with the elder people, they know better than them, then they choose the right person in the right time, inshallah.
Inshallah, barakallah feek. Let's go back to the technical part that we were talking about. Someone who is swearing all the time that they're going to divorce their wife. What is the ruling of that person?
All right. Now, when we talk about the conditional divorce, where someone said, like, if you go to a place, you are divorced. If you visit your mother, your father, you talk to your friend, you're divorced, they call it conditional divorce. What if someone uses the divorce as if that he is swearing? That he is swearing by divorce, by saying, I swear by divorce that you are not going to your mother tonight. So he used the word divorce as if that he is swearing. So if someone is swearing by divorce to prevent his wife from doing such a things, or commanding his wife to do such a thing, we have different opinion among Muslim scholars.
Yes.
But generally speaking, it is a very hard situation. It is a very dislikable situation from Islamic law perspective, from Islamic teaching perspective. He put himself in a very crucial situation, because many scholars they consider this case as a case of divorce. That if he did swear by divorce and she did not fulfill his demand, that she did go to that place, or she did not maybe do what he commanded her to do, in that case she would be divorced. Some scholars they consider it as a regular, like ordinary or normal swear, that he is swearing, and in that case some of them they said we have to ask him for his intention. If he said he was not intending at that time to divorce, he just was intending to threaten his wife.
Yes.
He was intended just to prevent him from doing such a thing, or to force her to do something. In that case, we'll consider it as a yameen, as just a sworn,
So in that case, it would go back to the intention of the person.
So suppose that she did not do what he want, or she did what he does not want. In that case, will treat his swear as a regular sworn that he has to make kafara. And you know that the kafara, if someone just swear to do something, he did not do it, or he swear about for someone to do something, he did not do that he paid the kafara to compensate. He has to compensate his swear by feeding or fasting. But this is opinion for some Muslim scholars. We don't recommend anyone to use the word of divorce as a way of swearing to do something or to not to do something. Just stay away from the word of divorce.
Jazakallah khair. How about another type of divorce, which is, you can say, a promise to divorce in the future? For example, a person is arguing with his wife, and he says to her, you know what, your divorce papers will reach you. You want your divorce papers? They'll reach you. They'll reach you tomorrow. What would be the position of that person?
Well, in that case, we said that it is not a divorce. Promising or divorcing is not divorce. And in many cases, some people of knowledge, they got mistaken in this issue.
Yes.
That he promised her to divorce her. He said, I'm going to divorce you tomorrow. It's different between saying, I'm going to divorce you tomorrow, or said, you are tomorrow divorced. Big difference between these two statements. If he said, I'm going to divorce you tomorrow, even if he said, Wallahi, I swear by Allah, I'm going to divorce you tomorrow, or maybe after 2 days. And he swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
In that case, we said, it's up to him. It's like a swear. It's up to him. He'd like to fulfill his swear, or not. But she is not divorced till he fulfill what he sweared for. So after 2 days, he said, I did say 2 days ago, I'm going to divorce you.
Yes.
Today is the time to execute what I said. You are divorced. In that case, she is divorced.
Yeah.
But suppose after 2 days, he forgot.
Yes. Or they are reconciliated.
Or maybe his wife, because she is not wise at that time, she said, well, did you forget what you said 2 days ago? Oh, you reminded me. All right, no problem. He divorced. No, this is just a joke. So suppose that he forgot to divorce her, or he did not forget, but he said, well, just forget it. I'm just was angry, and we are okay, inshallah ta'ala. So she is not divorced. But if he said, you are tomorrow after 2 o'clock divorced, that means he divorced her in a conditional divorce.
Yes.
In that case, his divorce will be a valid one. So these different issues.
Any other types of divorces before we go into other ways of ending a marriage other than divorce?
Yes, suppose someone, he was dreaming. He saw in his dream that he divorced his wife. And he was telling his divorce about his vision.
His wife?
Well, my lovely, his wife. My lovely wife, I saw a nightmare yesterday. I saw that I divorced you. So he said, I divorced you. But he was telling the vision, his dream. So he's not divorced. He's telling the dream. Actually, but if he said, well, I saw in my dream that I divorced you, and that's what I want to do. But he said, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
He did not do it yet.
Yes.
Still
not divorced.
Yes. But he said, I saw yesterday in my dream that I divorced you.
And then what if the wife tells him, so exactly what did you say in the dream? And then he actually says it.
Yeah, she asked him, what did he say? He said, you are divorced.
Yes.
But he was telling the vision.
Story, okay.
She is not a divorced woman. But if he said, I saw you yesterday in the dream that you are a divorced lady, and you are really now. This is divorce.
This is divorce. Yes. Okay, a final word. I think we've talked quite a bit about divorce, which is initiated from a man towards his wife. But before we go into other ways of separating a marriage, if you can please give us a word for brothers and sisters who have a waswas when it comes to this issue, an obsessive-compulsive disorder, really, when it comes to this issue, that any time the word is even mentioned, they think, okay, are we really married? Are we living together in haram? A word for these brothers and sisters.
Before you said that the case of what?
For brothers and sisters who have a waswas. For example, like if even the word talaq is mentioned in the house, or if a person is talking to his friend about someone else and he just mentions the word talaq, he goes back to his wife and he's like, I'm not sure, just because I mentioned the word divorce, are you divorced? And then she doesn't know if he really divorced her one time or two times. She's having a waswas, really. It's from the shaitan.
Yes.
A word for these brothers and sisters.
Yeah, the only solution for this problem is just to go for the Muslim scholars and to tell them what happened exactly, what
Yes.
he did say exactly, and they have the real answer for all these maybe cases. They should not live in that atmosphere, the atmosphere of doubting his marriage life. That will bring the miserable to his life, misery life, or misery to his life. They should go to the Muslim scholars and ask, and plus he should not put himself in that situation in the first stage. He should not use this word or this maybe statement. He should stay away from anything come close to the divorce word or statement, divorce. He could use anything. He can say anything.
Yes.
But he has to be staying away from all of this, inshallah ta'ala. And plus, for our beloved, sisters, they should not provoke their husband.
Yes.
But just bring him to that stage, that status, to try to make him so angry, try to challenge their manhood, challenge their temper, their attitude. In many cases, that's what
happens.
is happening.
Yes.
We say, no, be wise, lady, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this not will be the best interest for both of you. So you're not doing any good for yourself or for your husband or the whole family, even for the whole maybe community.
Yes. Can we talk a bit about the iddah and the different types of the iddah? The iddah, as we said, is the waiting period for the woman before, as in your words, she is free to marry someone else.
Yes. Just before we go to these points, I just reminded something very important, if you allow me, inshallah ta'ala. Suppose someone that he was intended to divorce someone he did not marry before. See, if I married that lady, she will be divorced. Divorce famously does not take a place. It's not a valid
Yes,
divorce.
I believe we talked about that in quite detail in the first episode. That one of the conditions of divorce is that there has to be a marriage actually happening.
Yes. Or what, suppose someone was talking to himself. I'm going to divorce this lady. And he was saying that secretly in his heart.
Yes. Without pronouncing it.
Without pronouncing that. He said, my wife is divorced. In his heart.
Yes.
It's not a valid divorce.
Now that brings me to another quick point before we talk about iddah. Divorce through text messages, divorce through Facebook messages, divorce through voice messages. Are they all the same?
Unfortunately, if we consider any method of this method you have mentioned to be a very authentic on delivering the piece of information or knowledge, should be taken the validity of divorce. Otherwise not. If we say that email has become a very authentic tool of delivering message or maybe confirming decisions, sometimes you sign a contract through the email. You receive email, you print it,
yes,
you sign it, you send it back by the email. It's like a deal.
Yes.
Contract between you and a company, or maybe your employer, or maybe you are selling something. So if we consider email and internet, sending emails as an authentic tool of confirming answers, confirming decisions, we should consider that divorcing a wife through the email as an authentic way of divorcing. So suppose someone, he sent an email, he said, you are divorced today, or when you receive my email, you are divorced. Suppose he did not receive his email. So we have to look at the statement.
Yes.
If he sent the email, he said, you are divorced. That means she is divorced.
She's divorced, yes.
She said, if you receive my email and answer my email, you are divorced. If you open my email, you are divorced. She did not open his email. She is not divorced. It would be like conditional divorce.
Yes.
But generally speaking, email should be considered as authentic way of confirming decisions like this. Text message, again and again. I don't recommend to use it. I don't recommend even using the email for such an issue like this. But difference between I don't recommend or to be considered as an official or authentic way of confirming decision like this is a big difference.
Yes.
So email, it is an authentic way of confirming decision like this. Text messaging, I'm not sure yet, because it might be like done by mistake. Email does take more time to make you your email and to fill it with your decision. Text message could be like by mistake, could be like sometimes mixed signals, mixed maybe a net. I cannot maybe answer for the text message. I don't recommend, generally speaking, but I cannot right now answer this question. But mail unanimously. Someone sent a letter.
Yes.
He mailed his wife, and he said in his letter, when you receive my letter, you are divorced. Subhanallah.
Hopefully it gets lost.
The letter got lost.
Yes.
She is safe, alhamdulillah. He did not say that. He said, you are divorced in his letter.
May Allah guide us, wallahi, because this is a huge responsibility,
Yes.
both when it comes to the man and when it comes to the woman.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, as I said, emailing is an authentic way of making divorce.
Jazakallah
that
khair.
forbids.
I think the point is very clear. Barakallah
Yes.
feek. Now, can we talk about the iddah, the waiting period of the sister, and the different types of iddas that we have?
Yes. What if someone before the iddah was given his power of attorney? He was assigning someone to deliver this message to his wife.
That's a very important topic, yes.
He said, go and tell my wife that she is divorced. And he did not. The person who's assigned to do that, he did not do that. Should be considered as a divorce. Well, she is divorced.
Yes.
But if he said, different case now, if he said, I'm giving you my power of attorney to divorce my wife at the time you see it is suitable. So he gave him his authority for that person to divorce his wife. It's a different case now. So that person, if he decides to not divorce.
But can someone do that? Can someone give another person the authority to divorce their own wife?
Marriage. Yes. Yes.
Just like marriage.
But I don't recommend.
Yes.
To make the whole marriage life at the decision or the thought of different person.
Yeah, of a third
who
party.
does not know exactly what is the interest for this family.
Yes.
It's not recommended, but it does happen sometimes for some difficulties.
Yes.
For some maybe other reasons. Yes.
Iddah. Yes.
Well, this is another wisdom of Islam to make this iddah this take different status. Again and again, just to delay that hard decision, and this may be very dislikable end or result for this marriage. We have two kind of women, two kind of marriage regarding the wife. If someone married a lady or a girl, and he did not have any sexual relationship with her, and he decided to divorce her, in that case there is no iddah, unanimously.
There's no iddah at all.
There's no iddah at all.
So one of those sisters can be divorced today, and she can get married tomorrow.
Yeah, if she was married yesterday, and her husband did not get any, she did not have any sexual relationship together.
Now, would that mean only the full sexual relationship, or any type of sexual relationship?
Well, if you talk about this issue in details, we have to explain it. If he did not have a real sexual relationship with his wife, this one case, unanimously, and then he divorced her, there's no iddah for this lady. Suppose they get together in one room, in their house. In their house,
yes,
they get together. So they have the circumstances of getting to each other sexually. But it did not happen. But both of them, they admitted. They have the khulwa.
Yes.
They got alone in their home, safe, secure, where this is the definition of the khulwa, where does take its rules. Any khulwa, any kind of having your wife in such a place, you are able to execute your sexual desire and her sexual desire to be considered as a khulwa.
Yes.
Islamic law, khulwa, does take its rules. According to many scholars, not all of them, this khulwa does take the rules, and as if that he did make that sexual relationship with his wife. If he divorced her at that time, that she has to take the iddah. Some scholars said no. If they have the khulwa, they get together alone, they have all the, maybe they were accessible to each other sexually, securely and safely, but they did not. Some they said it does not consider to be like a real sexual relationship between both of them. And if he divorced her, well, she has not to have the iddah. She has not, doesn't have to wait. But I go with the first opinion, because this is most Muslim scholars, they consider it, because they treat this kind of maybe most likable sexual relationship as a real sexual relationship. Because who can deny this? Who can doubt this? They got together. If he said, I did not have any sexual relationship, she can say, no, he did. He denied, she said, he did. So they have different opinion, they have a conflict here.
Yes.
So in order just to solve the problem from its early beginning, we said, if you got together in one place, and that place does give you the accessibility to both of you to have sexual relationship, but you did not, we'll consider it as a real sexual relationship. And we will apply all the rules of this sexual relationship to your marriage.
Now, what are these rules? The normal
so suppose someone he got married, both of them they got married, and both of them they got sexual relationship, and both were real one or most likable one.
Yes.
In that case, and he decided to divorce her, and he did divorce her for the first time. In that case, she has to take the iddah. She has to wait. The iddah for this wife, lady, as we said, this talaq raj'i. This is 3 qara', as Allah mentions, ta'ala. وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ وَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوءٍ.
Yes.
Among Muslim scholars, either to be like 3 circles or 3 like period of cleanness.
Yes.
In this time. This they call it عدة الحائل. The lady was divorced and she is not a pregnant lady. And that happened after he and both of them they got relationship together. They call it عدة الحائل. She is not a pregnant lady.
Yes.
She stays and she is a real lady. She have her circle. She's not like a little girl. She's not reaching. She did not reach the puberty age yet. No. She is a adult, and she has her circle. In that case, she's not pregnant. She stays 3 qara', which, as I said, either 3 circle or 3 period of cleanness for that case. Now we have another kind of iddah. They call it iddatul hamil. First one is iddatul ha'il. There's no pregnancy. Second one, the iddah of pregnant lady.
Can we talk about it after the break, inshallah?
Inshallah.
Okay, jazakallah khairan. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, please stay with us. We'll be back in a moment, inshallah.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Allah the Most High and Merciful says, invite to the way of your Lord with wisdom and fair preaching. Do you want to join Huda in calling to Allah? Do you want to spread the message like the prophets did? Do you want to share in the blessings and rewards? Why not support Huda towards these noble aims? Why not sponsor a program of your choice? If you would like to help Huda in spreading the correct message of Islam, please send an email to support@huda.tv or call +2 014 327 1771 for more details, or fax +2 023 8555 251.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome back to our program, Islamic Law Today. Professor Saie, before the break, we were talking about one of the types of iddah called iddat al-ha'il, the lady who is not pregnant. Now,
Yes.
Can we talk about the other type, which is iddat al-hamil, the lady who is pregnant?
Tamam. Well, as we said before, if the lady is not a pregnant lady, she stays, as Allah said, ثلاثة قروء. And most likely this quru does take about maybe 1 month and a half, something like this. Less or more, sometimes 45 days. It depends on the condition of the lady, the divorced one. But suppose that this lady, the divorced lady, was pregnant. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this, all this type of iddah. وَأُولَاتِ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلُهُنَّ أَنْ يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَّ. If she's a pregnant lady, her iddah expires when she delivers. When she delivers the baby, the child, this is the expiration date for her iddah. Now, this iddah can take maybe 9 months. Suppose that he divorced her at the beginning of her pregnancy.
Yes.
And she had to stay at the end of the pregnancy. If she delivered after maybe months, 8 months and a half, this is the expiration of her iddah. Suppose that, God forbid, she dropped her baby. If she dropped her baby like after the first month of pregnancy or second month, her iddah will be expired at that time.
Really?
Yes.
So all of a sudden it will expire.
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah.
No. And at that time we'll take the rules of the nufasa. She has to stop praying and fasting, as you know, the rules of the lady of after she delivered.
Yes.
But suppose that he divorced his wife before she delivered, like 1 day. So he divorced her today.
Yes.
Tomorrow she delivered.
Yes.
SubhanAllah, this is the shortest maybe iddah. Or maybe he divorced her now, after 1 minute she delivered. So the iddah of pregnancy could be long, could be short, could be longer, could be shorter, depends on the pregnancy. Now we have to mention here that Ibn Abbas, ardahuma, he did go against most of the Muslim scholars, Sahaba and followers, and the people, the Imams of the school of thought, and he said, and they have some other Imams did go with him.
Yes.
He said she has to wait the longer period. Like if
so for example, if the pregnancy is 6 months and the normal period is 3 months, then she waits the 6 months.
yes,
But if the opposite is true, if for example the pregnancy she has, like we said, 1 day left or 1 hour left, then she would kind of leave that out and stick to the normal regular 3 months.
yes. Yes.
That's the opinion of Ibn Abbas.
Ibn Abbas. And the wisdom behind this, wisdom behind this, that to make the time of the iddah longer and longer.
Yes.
So the husband is able to bring back his wife to him. Because during this iddah, the iddah of the pregnancy, this is still called at-talaq raj'i.
Yes.
Unless that was the third divorce. If the iddah of divorce was during the pregnancy, and that divorce was the second one or first one, still we call it at-talaq raj'i.
Yes.
So he is able to bring back his wife, reconciliate, and bring it to its normal status during this period of iddah. So the longer we give him, the better he is able to bring it. This is Ibn Abbas. Look at it from that angle. He did look at the wisdom of the iddah by itself. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned very clearly that وَأُولَاتُ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلُهُنَّ أَنْ يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَّ, regardless of the
So what was the proof of Ibn Abbas in order to come up with this opinion?
Hmm?
What was the proof of Ibn Abbas?
He said that this ayah is not, does not contradict with the first ayah. والمطلقات ويتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. See that this is the original case. And the original case does carry the meaning of having long time, like 3 circles or 3 periods of cleanness. So we are giving both of them, husband and wife, time to rethink again about the situation. So if someone divorced his wife today and she divorced after one moment, that means that he has no chance, she has no chance. So from that meaning, he tried to combine between the first and the second ayah. And subhanAllah wa ta'ala, but most of the scholars did not agree on this, because sometimes, even when we make the iddah longer and longer, yes, it is the case or the meaning of giving more chance to the both husband and wife to reconcile again, inshallah ta'ala. But sometimes if that man does not fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, could be the opposite meaning. So again, we have to consider fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any case.
Yes.
Whether the pregnancy was long time, he divorced his wife today and she delivered tomorrow, or maybe they delivered after 9 months, he has to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
Not make it like a miserable period of time. She's waiting just to get rid of her husband.
Jazakallah khairan. Now, a sister who's divorced the first time or the second time, okay, is she on equal status when it comes to iddah as a sister who's divorced for the 3rd time? Or, meaning the sister who's divorced for the 3rd time, does she also wait 3 months in a normal non-pregnancy situation?
Yes, yes. But if she divorced the third time, husband does not have a chance to bring her back.
Yes, but she still has 3 months.
Yeah, she still wait for the regular period of time.
Now let me ask you an interesting question that came to my mind. We're talking of course to the iddah. Whenever we hear the word iddah, we think of it relating to the Muslim woman. But can a Muslim man under any circumstances or any situations have a iddah for himself?
Yeah, some scholars talk about that during suppose that a man that he married like 3 ladies, and he divorced one of them, and he wanted to divorce to marry the 4th one. Some said he has to wait during the iddah of his wife because she's still at the talaq raj'i. She's not considered to be a absolute divorced woman because she's still under the status of talaq raj'i. She's able to bring her back to him unless he cut the divorce, either by the expiration of the iddah of his lady, or by maybe divorcing her the 3rd time.
The 3rd time, yes.
So they talk about this issue, is that he is not able to marry the 4th wife because she is still considered to be like, I'm talking about if he has the 4th
wife. Yes.
4th wife, and you have to marry another one instead of the 4th one.
Yes. He
has to wait till that because it's still considered to be in the talaq raj'i, so he's able to bring his wife back to him.
Yes.
So he cannot take the 5th one to be 4th one, because the 4th one is still under that category.
Yes. Yeah. Jazakallah khair. Now let's switch gears just a bit. SubhanAllah, we talked about the type of divorce that is initiated from the man. Now, can we talk a little bit about a very, very important topic, which is the divorce that is initiated by the woman, also known as al-khul', when the sister is the one that is requesting for the marriage contract to be dissolved. As you know, of course, in the United States and in many parts of the Western world, sometimes it's actually the sister who's the one who's asking for divorce. Obviously, the reasons behind that are many, and we can spend a few episodes just talking about the reasons and analyzing them. But for now, if we can talk from the Islamic legal perspective, how would that differ from a typical or a regular divorce?
SubhanAllah, it's very important issue regarding divorce and regarding separation between husband and wife. Just before I go to that very important issue, I just remember that the 3rd kind of iddah, just to wrap it up, inshallah ta'ala, wrap it up. Suppose this lady is not pregnant lady, and she does not have a normal circle like other women, because she is a little girl yet, or she is aged, elderly lady. She is at the age of 60 or something like this. Does not have hair circle. Allah mentioned this in His holy book subhanahu wa ta'ala that ولا يئسن من المحيض فعدتهن 3 أشهر ولا لم يحضن, that both the old lady and the little girl, both of them, their iddah is 3 months. So we have 3 months and pregnancy time. This is the different kind of iddah. The one, she is a normal lady, and she's she's not a pregnant lady. 3 circles or 3 periods of cleanness. The pregnant lady till she deliver. Non-pregnant lady, abnormal lady, because she has no circle in her life, she spent 3 months, as Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's talk about the al-khula. Al-khula, before we talk about the rules of the khula, what's the big wisdom behind having such rules like this? From the beginning, we said that marriage is to fear Allah, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Divorce, the same thing. Fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's the purpose of the whole marriage life? Establish this family, as if that you are sharing in building that beautiful castle of Islam, to execute and practice what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to do, to contribute for the whole mankind. So as long as this marriage life is good, to achieve that purpose, these goals, this marriage life should stay and should last, inshallah ta'ala. And whenever you feel, and both of them, they felt strongly, and they come to like a belief that this marriage life does not achieve these goals, but even it's going to turn opposite, what was the direction of these goals, to be like miserable life, to be in the field of disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as if marriage has become a factor of disregarding His teaching subhanahu wa ta'ala, or being stuck with this life and disregarding His remembrance subhanahu wa ta'ala. In that case, both of them have to think about stopping this life and finishing this marriage. But by the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the same time, فَإِمْسَاكٌ مَعْرُوفٌ أَوْ تَسْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ, it has to be the same way of fearing Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the way of finishing this relationship, not just divorce, because suppose the case is the husband does not see it this way, does not feel it this way, does not feel that this marriage is not good marriage.
Yes.
He feels, he believes that he likes his wife, he loves his wife, and the marriage life is going very good, very normally, but unfortunately his wife does not see it this way. In that case, Islam is to be fair and just with everyone. Yes, even he did make the husband in control of divorcing his wife, as we mentioned before, but he did give the wife herself the chance, the opportunity to finish her relationship with his husband, if she wished to do that, for a purpose of she is not able, she is not capable to achieve the marriage purposes, the marriage goals. She is not able to please Allah through this marriage. But even she is afraid that she is going to be a disobedient person through this marriage life. Exactly like what happened in his time, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. A lady came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and she said, Ya Rasulullah, inni imra'atun akrahu al-kufra fil Islam. وإن فلان لا أعيب عليه يعني أمرا في خلق ولا في دين. I'm a woman that she dislike the disbelief in Islam. She's mentioning about the right of husband. She's not able to fulfill her husband's right. She's not able to fulfill Allah's rights subhanahu wa ta'ala through this marriage. So she was afraid that she might be in a stage of disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She does not want to be that lady. So she is asking the Prophet, is there any way to finish this relationship with this husband, which I did not have any complaint about him. He's a good person from religious point of view, from marriage point of view, from everything. لا يعيب عليه يعني في خلق ولا في دين لكن امرأة أكره الكفر في الإسلام. I don't want to be that lady. She is not able to give the husband his right, or give Allah right subhanahu wa ta'ala, or give the marriage itself its right. So he said, أتردين عليه حديقته. This kind, that was her dowry, that her husband was he gave her as a dowry her farm, a little farm, or little maybe ranch. حديقته means little ranch, little farm. So if you are able to, if you want to give him back the dowry you took from him, we finish this marriage life. From that point comes the issue of al-khula. That lady is asking for divorce. She is asking to finish this marriage life from herself.
The initiation is from the female side.
Yes. She had that initiative, that she initiated to finish this marriage life. He does not want that, but it is not up to him right now. SubhanAllah, look at the opposite case now. In the case that he divorced her, to bring her back to the marriage life, it is not up to her. It's up to him. In the case of khula, it is not up to him, it is up to her. In both cases, would like just to have a normal, good, very faithful, very happy life for both of them. If that will be achieved by keeping the marriage life, we'll do it. And then we achieve by finishing this marriage life, we'll do it. This is the big wisdom behind these two hukum, maybe two different hukums.
We have just a few minutes, so if I can have you, inshallah, tell us the rules, the specific rules relating to the issue of.
All right. If this is the case with this lady that she asked for finishing this marriage life by herself, and she has to negotiate with her husband. My husband, I like you, but I cannot live with you. I like your religious status, everything. I cannot live with you. I give you my dowry. Suppose that he gave her part of her dowry, and he delayed the other one. She said, I'll give you the rest of the dowry to you back, but just you divorce me. If he accepted this, he said, yes, I accept to have back the rest of the dowry, your dowry. In that case, we said, yes, I do accept that. In that case, will be separated. This marriage relationship will be finished. Now, Muslims, they have different opinion about this separation. Could be considered as a divorce, to be counted as another divorce if they have like divorce before, or to be like fasakh. Fasakh means like you are finishing the relationship. So if you consider as a fasakh, that means you are cancelling the marriage. That should not be considered as a divorce. So suppose it happened this way, and we consider it as to be like cancellation for the marriage, and later on, she has to wait for the iddah.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, suppose after she finished the iddah now, that man who have this khula with his wife, ex-wife, he want to marry her again. In that case, it has to be like a new marriage contract, new dowry. But are we considering that the divorce happened before that khula to be considered now, and that khula to be as one divorce too? Those who they said it is not divorce, it is a cancellation for the divorce. That will not consider as a divorce. That means if she was divorced one time, that means she has two divorces left for her. If she was divorced second time, that means she has no other divorce to be remaining. But we have to mention a very important issue here. This will be considered as a khula in just one condition. If that happened without having an operation or aggression from the husband toward his wife.
Yes.
But suppose the case was that husband was a very rough, rude, unjust husband. He was harming. He was bombarding his wife just to ask for divorce.
Yes.
In that case, she raised her case to the judge, Muslim judge, and she told him about this case. He forced me to ask for divorce. In that case, that the judge will search for the issue, will make investigation, and he found out that this is the case. The husband was very unjust husband. He will say either to treat your wife kindly, Islamically, or you divorce her without having any right to take her dowry.
Jazakallah khair. Barakallah feek. Such a very interesting topic that we took us 3 episodes to discuss. I hope our brothers and sisters have learned a lot from it. I mean, we have about 15 seconds left. I want to give you the floor to give us a final word. And if I can ask you to be the one that ends today's program, inshallah. So you can speak directly to the camera and end the program, inshallah.
Well, I don't know what to say, but this is should be the last time to meet with you, my beloved viewers, I ask you for dua, inshallah ta'ala. I ask you to make the benefit of this episode and this program for the whole Muslims, inshallah ta'ala, and to be the light for all of us in this life and hereafter, inshallah azza wa jal, and to make all of us all the time working toward the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to use us, utilize us for His deen, for the cause of His Islam, inshallah ta'ala. Ameen, Allahumma ameen. If we did something good with my son Osama and others, inshallah ta'ala, make dua for us. We did something bad, forgive us, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gather all of us again and again in different program or a different occasion at the same stage of the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, thank you so much for being with us here this evening, and we're very grateful that Professor Muhammad Naim Saie took the time all these weeks and 2 years now, right?
Yes.
On this program. So Jazakallah khairan for being with us. My dear brothers and sisters, we hope this program was of benefit to all of you, and it was definitely of great benefit to me. Jazakallah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray.